So, it is late November, and to everyone in the U.S., happy Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
So, if you haven't guessed already, we're here to see The Marvels.
Yes, of course. No, wait.
Oh, that's right. No one's seen The Marvels, so
Yeah,
why would we see that?
Wait,
Okay.
what is The Marvels?
Exactly. So, years ago, we reacted to the original Grindhouse trailer, which was the whole Quentin Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez collaboration that was meant to be like an homage to this sort of 70s era B cinema.
Yeah.
And midway through there's this one fake ad for a movie, or, a fake trailer for a fake
There's
movie.
a bunch of trailers.
A bunch, but this was the one that sort of stood out that we're reacting to years later, right?
Was that the Rob Zombie one or the Eli Roth one?
Eli Roth.
Okay, yeah.
This year there will be one uninvited guest. You'll be coming home for the holidays in a body bag. One uninvited guest had arrived. And this year there will be no leftovers.
And then the best one is when you see like this cheerleader bouncing up and down on a trampoline, and you hear
White meat, dark meat, all be carved. White meat, dark meat, all will be carved.
and then a knife just comes out from the trampoline as she does a split and lands on it, and you just hear it's great stuff.
Have you seen
I
Grand
felt like I was there.
Thanksgiving.
Good memories.
And lo and behold, that trailer turned out to be a fake trailer for a real movie.
Yeah, so there was a bunch of trailers. There was, famously, there was Machete, which also became a real movie and is the only other one to actually get made into a film directly based on the fake trailer that was made. But basically what happened was there was a movie called Grindhouse where Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino wanted to do an homage to, well, as the title implies, grindhouse films. And that's, a grindhouse was like a theater in an urban setting where they would basically show exploitation films. So, like gore or nudity, things like that, things you wouldn't normally see in a normal theater. And these would be like small one-screen things. So eventually those went away because then, from what I was reading, television kind of phased it out because everybody could watch stuff at home instead of going to theaters.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at either of the features they directed for that thing, and, I'm assuming Thanksgiving's going to be in a similar vein to that just based on everything we've seen.
Well, from the trailers, like, visually, they look very clean and modern, whereas with Grindhouse, they purposely made it look old. Like, I read they even took, like, some of the film negatives and, like, dragged it across the ground to add damage and dirt and all these things, which is what you would see in a Grindhouse films because they were, like, very low quality, low budget, and there's all kinds of crap all over them.
Right.
But, this one...
No, this is a legit horror movie that's just happens to be based off of this fake trailer that Eli Roth directed 15 years ago.
And he's also directing this.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to expect going into this thing. I sort of expect it to be a parody of, like, slasher movies set at Halloween time, just happening to take place on Thanksgiving.
I expect, as the fake trailer implies, this is basically just a Halloween parody, so I'll be looking for references to that series. There might be other references that I won't catch, because personally, I'm not a huge slasher movie fan, so...
No, but it's fun, it's mindless, and that's what I'm expecting going into this thing. I expect it to be sort of fun and mindless,
Yeah, like, even the trailers, they don't really grab me. What's mostly bringing me here is, the fact that we talked...
that we have with it, yeah.
Mostly, in that it's kind of funny how, it became a real thing all these years later. I don't know when Grindhouse came out, but
2006 or 2007, somewhere in there.
Yeah, before
it was right before Inglourious Bastards, yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to check it out, and we'll come back, and as always, tell you what we think. Thanksgiving.
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 White meat,
Dark meat. All will be carved.
Let's eat.
So, did we come home for the holidays in a body bag?
Well, there were certainly no leftovers.
No. See, what was really left over was my interest, because I didn't really find this movie very interesting.
Well, look, I went in expecting just a generic sort of B-movie, horror movie, parody of Halloween-type movies. And I think it delivered on that. I thought it was entertaining. Twist was interesting enough. Didn't seem super obvious.
So what it was, without getting into anything, I guess, spoiler-related, even though there really isn't much to get into there, so we probably won't even discuss it too deep, but
It's a pretty basic plot.
sort of a whodunit. It kind of sets it up that way, where there's an inciting incident in the town of Plymouth, Massachusetts, where the fourth Thursday.
They took a lot of beats from the original trailer that Eli Roth did. So from that aspect of it, I think it worked really well.
You could tell, yeah, they took like the basic points, which of course they did, because as we mentioned previously, Machete, they also put like whatever scenes that were in the fake trailer into the actual film, I'm pretty sure. So there's a few scenes that they do pretty much directly here, but it feels like they held back on the shock value of them, like they were tamer than the fake trailer.
That's actually really true. Like the cheerleader scene specifically, which again, this isn't a spoiler since it's literally in the fake trailer, but it's just the way they stabbed her, the fact that there was no nudity, I think made it seem a little less, impactful. And that's not to say I want to see this cheerleader
less impactful in like a literal sense.
Yeah, no, it's like, it just seems like she was in less pain from the stabbing, right? Like, it just doesn't seem as gory, I guess.
So, overall, like I said, without getting into too much detail, I feel like if they had done this film in the style of Grindhouse,
it would have been better.
Exploitation.
Yeah.
You ever seen The Terrifier, or have you heard of it?
No.
It's like full-on shock value, exploitation, slasher horror. Like, there's this ridiculous character who was almost dressed like a evil clown, sort of. I don't know, that might be oversimplifying it. But it's like this guy in white makeup, and just the kind of kills they have in that are like so ridiculous, and it's so overly gory. I felt like that's kind of what, or at least I guess I expected this to be more like that. Maybe not completely all the way, but somewhat like that. But this felt more like something that would go like straight to streaming on like Shudder.
Yeah, I mean, look, if it wasn't for just the actual, callbacks to that trailer from 15 or so years ago, and if it wasn't for Eli Roth's name, I don't think people would have seen this. It was just very...
Well, are they seeing it?
I mean, good question. It's first weekend it's out. I'm not sure what the box office numbers look like.
There's a few people in the theater with us.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was more people in the theater than what we'd probably see in Marvels. Don't say that much.
Who? The what?
Exactly. No, I mean, if you're a fan of like just basic horror movies and would see that kind of thing around Halloween time, like I think it serves enough of those.
I feel like there are so many better things to watch than this.
I would agree, but I don't think it's a bad movie. Like, I think it's a very well-paced, it's a good movie if you like horror movies, but at the same time, it's very basic, Like, I wouldn't have gone out of my way to see this if it was just any other movie.
Well, and that's the thing. So I guess I'll disagree with you slightly, because I feel like first of all, I wouldn't say go see this. I wouldn't even say watch it on streaming. I would say just rewatch the fake trailer, because I got a lot more out of that. Stylistically, shock value, like I said, that's way more interesting than anything in this, which maybe if I were to give it leeway, they already did I guess the best things with the concept that they had in mind with the trailer years ago already, but it could have been expanded on here. Here, it's like they kind of tried to do this, like it starts off almost as like, this is parodying American consumerism, and that I liked.
Right.
The beginning, the setup in the beginning, I liked, but then it's like not just consumerism, it's social media culture, kind of.
Yeah, a little bit of that, but
it's not that well integrated into it.
Because it's like they could also make the argument, if they were going that direction, which I think they're just trying to say, social media is a thing that exists in this world, and it's
I hate that so much, I have to say.
But it's like, if you're trying to make a grounded movie in 2023, you can't sort of avoid that. It's like...
But to me, it's different than, say, watching an older movie where they use a phone booth. Like, sure, that dates it, but I feel like a phone call is something that's like...
Universal?
It's universal. It's not so specific, like, ooh, look, Instagram, ooh, look, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, whatever.
So you think, 10 years from now, if Instagram's no longer a thing, that'll make it feel dated?
Yeah, I think it's just... And there was another movie, Was it the did I watch the Slender Man themed movie? I think I watched one of those.
I remember you said the same thing when we saw the Batman, that him live streaming to Twitch.
Okay, yeah,
the
maybe it was
Dark
that. Okay,
Web or
so
something, yeah.
there you go. It's a trend where it's like, look, social media live streams, and for some reason, it just I don't like it. It makes it feel dated to me and makes it feel like too specific, too contemporary.
See, that's where I disagree with you, because I think it's supposed to be a movie taking place in 2022, 2023, and you see that timestamp on the actual security camera, so I'm not just pulling that out of nowhere. Like,
Well,
it's clear
okay,
it's that year.
A similar thing.
I think that works just to give it a sense of time and add to the setting.
Yeah, the text messaging, like where they show it on the screen, I'm okay with that. But if they were going to use social media as like some kind of commentary, I feel like it just fell flat. It's just
Well, I don't think they were necessarily going to try to use it as a
because it
commentary.
could have been, like I was discussing with you.
absolutely could have been. I
The
don't think that's
reveal
what they
could
were
have
trying to
went
do.
a certain way, and then I might have understood it. Like with the inciting incident, it could have connected back to that. Like, you see what happens when you act this way as a society. But it just ended up being, hey, it's about revenge.
It's absolute. I mean, again, that's not even a spoiler because they say that 5 minutes in that they set it up to be a revenge flick.
Yeah, and they set up multiple people as having a motive.
And I will say, it wasn't who I thought it was. Like, the actual twist works pretty well, I think. Like, it wasn't who I thought it was, but the person who it ended up being, I think, made perfect sense when they sort of go into the details about it and how he was able to do what he did.
It's something that's kind of, you just forget about it after the beginning.
Right.
And I guess that's obviously on purpose.
Well, that part, yeah. I mean, there were a million red herrings in this thing that, again, when they did that first sort of fake twist, it was like, oh, you really went for this guy? Because, I mean, that was sort of the obvious choice.
Yeah.
No,
I
it
knew
wasn't
it
him.
wasn't going to be. It was either going to be that or the other thing I told you. Where I guess we'll just say
I think we gotta get into spoilers.
spoiler now a little bit, but again, I wouldn't even say watch this. So I thought it was going to be multiple people as the masked killer. It's almost like a V for Vendetta.
And I was thinking that too.
What is John Carver? Is that a thing?
John Carver's the first governor of the, like they say it briefly in the movie, he was like the governor of the Massachusetts Commonwealth when the country was first founded in 1600. So just important to Plymouth and the history of.
Yeah, so that's the persona that this individual is masquerading as.
And it makes sense too, that theory. And I was thinking that too for a while, since it's literally like that. You know, they're handing these masks out at like the local diners and the schools and the parades.
Yeah, it's like the parade.
Everyone
is a
has
big
these
thing.
masks, so it could literally be anyone.
Like everybody's involved in the parade. So I thought it was going to be a whole big thing about this incident at the was it not Walmart? It's basically a Walmart. People get trampled for a Black Friday sale at Walmart, and this has happened in real life.
Oh, it's literally every Black Friday anywhere in the country.
I
People die.
vaguely remember reading articles about people literally dying for shit like this. So,
Like, yeah, no, people take physical abuse of these things. That's completely
I-
true.
so, like I said, at the start, I was on board with that, but I knew the movie wasn't going to be smart enough to actually really go into that.
No, because it's like go into killing that gruesome that early on. It's like if you're trying to make it a reflection of real life, it's so exaggerated at that point that it really sort of falls flat. If that's what you're trying to do, and I don't think that's what he was trying to do. I think he was just trying to make a fun Thanksgiving themed horror
Well,
movie.
I saw a short video with Eli Roth doing like a small amount of commentary on it, and he was saying that they wanted every kill to feel memorable, and I feel like for the most part they weren't. Besides the ones at the well, I guess the oven was a little memorable.
The oven
but
was memorable.
the trampling at the beginning,
saw blade to the stomach too. I thought was pretty.
that-
I guess
that
that
kind
didn't
of felt
technically
throwaway.
kill her, but I thought that worked pretty well.
but the trampling to me is memorable because that's like a situation that's, I guess, sort of real life-ish, and you wouldn't expect to see something so graphic and horrid happen at just like, a Walmart.
Well, even woman getting her brains bashed in with the 2 shopping
Yeah, it's
carts.
like,
I thought
oh, that's a
was
little
good.
shocking, and that was new.
Mhm.
So that was good. But then after that,
Well, you're right. A lot of the kills that did come after that sort of did, like, the memorable ones for sure were ripped straight from the trailer. Like, guy getting his head chopped off with an axe.
there's
girl
like
getting
3 beheadings
sliced
in the
during
trailer.
trampling.
There's like one where the guy is getting a job.
Right.
There's the,
Oh, yeah, they didn't include that, which I
They
feel like was a
didn't.
missed opportunity.
well, again, because that was the light just
Shit,
went out.
yep.
Well, we have this light. But that goes back to the whole 70s thing where it was like, 2 teens in a convertible on like Makeout Cliff or something, and then suddenly the guy's head is missing, and then there was the beheading with the guy in the turkey suit, which was in the movie, and then another one where the girl is like again making out with some guy, and then his head is gone.
Yep.
Those are fun. but they weren't in the movie aside from the turkey one. But then the turkey one, the guy was dressed as some random clown that seemed out of place.
That I think was just because it wouldn't have been possible for him to go around dressed as John Carver, pull out an axe. Like, they were looking for John Carver at that point, so I think that was trying to just fool the cast and characters.
But once I saw that clown, I'm like, well, it's obviously the evil-looking clown. It's the Terrifier. Well, suffice it to say that I found it, in that regard, disappointing. And the parts with the teens, like the girl who's like the main character, I couldn't get invested in. I don't like her. I don't like her family. Partially, part of me now wanted, and this was maybe I went in with too many expectations, but when I watched the trailer, it made her father, who's like the owner of the Walmart, look a little sinister in the trailer. So part of me wanted it to be kind of like Get Out, where maybe there was a cult or something in the town formed around
so
some
you just wanted a little more lore to it.
Some ancient Thanksgiving practice where they just chop people up for
also would have
dinner.
made sense being Plymouth and it being
Wouldn't that been more interesting?
That would have been interesting.
Like Thanksgiving dinner, you're getting chopped up tonight. It's our family dinner. Let's eat. That line wasn't in the movie.
Actually, yeah, that would have been a good twist, especially given the whole way the stepmother dies, being served up as a turkey, a little bit of a cannibal thing. Would have made sense.
And then her actual mother comes out. She was like in the turkey suit the whole time. I don't know.
No, I mean, that would have been better. So like I said, I do like the whole reveal of the sheriff being sort of behind it. And again, it makes sense when you consider, he has all this military-grade weaponry. He's clearly physically stronger than most people he's attacking. He's got the know-how and the tactical skills to actually pull this shit off. That part works really well in retrospect. So I'm fine with that.
I just didn't even care at that point. I'm like, oh, yeah, it could be anyone who, whatever. And if you're going to compare it to other slashers, because again, in that same video, Eli Roth said he's inspired by like Halloween and Scream, the whole idea of this. And they do a little, like one Halloween reference where the guy is standing out the window and staring at them and then disappears. But other than that, there was nothing outwardly appealing to me.
Yeah. The other one Halloween reference I think I picked up on pretty quickly was him having part of his mask burned off and it just looking distorted and destroyed. Like in what was it?
At the end of the
one?
first reboot,
yeah.
Or I guess Halloween Kills, really.
Right. So anyway, that stuck out to me. Like they were clearly paying homage to classic horror movies in some respects.
You see, even the recent Halloweens had so many more memorable kills that I could think of off the top of my head. I mean, I won't go on a list here, but
all I can say is we need more Thanksgiving-themed movies. Right now, all we've got is this and Charlie Brown.
Watch Charlie Brown instead.
That's actually probably the better Thanksgiving movie.
Was the stuffing scared out of you?
There were actually a few good jump scares that got me, but as a general rule, I don't think it's... I'm so desensitized to horror movies at this point that it really has to be something spectacular to outwardly scare me.
Being in a Walmart scared the stuffing out of me.
Yeah, that actually, go into a Walmart on Black Friday and you'll probably be able to relate to that scene.
That would be scarier than anything in this film.
Like, the first 5 minutes of it actually just felt like every, small town in Massachusetts. It's like they actually did behave like high school age kids.
They're all the road rage.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, what the f***? Hey, get the f***.
You.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Okay.
All right. That's it. Have a good holiday. Don't see this.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Good grief.